¿Qué pasa, amigos? My name is Ash, and today I want to talk about a fascinating topic that weaves through pop culture, video games, technology, and a once-established science fiction idea. While I will touch on many of the main and most interesting points, the story and details within go far deeper and become ever more complex as you dig further into the subject. But for now, I want to simply give us a baseline to start from, and that is, what the hell is a metaverse? Well, a metaverse is, at its core, a completely virtual world wherein people can attend events, go shopping, and interact with other people in real time. This world, known as the metaverse, is being called the next evolution of the internet. It takes the current technological state and blasts it into a surreal science fiction-like future. So, what does this all mean? What really is the metaverse? How will it be built? How will it function? And what the hell does it have to do with Fortnite and video games as a whole? First, a broader definition of the metaverse. Essentially, it will be a Matrix-like digital area that has its own economy, complete with jobs, shopping areas, and media for the participants to consume. In its early stages, this will probably look a lot like your normal video game setup, simply run through a PC or console and displayed to the user via a screen or VR headset. But as the metaverse becomes ever more complex, it will eventually and inevitably become exactly like the Matrix we saw in Hollywood. However, that's probably centuries away. But in a way, this virtual world already exists, and it's very ordinary to us at this point. The internet is that world for now, as we have places like Amazon for buying and selling, and social media platforms, and even all digital currencies like Bitcoin, as well as places like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, where artists, politicians, and so many more can create interactive experiences, gaining and losing social points in the process. Even though all of these platforms already exist within one arena, they are still separate entities that are separated within this ultimately unified space. The metaverse ultimately aims to create a deeply interactive and unified digital space, where all of these aspects of our online and physical lives converge into one spot. And this will likely be achieved by utilizing rapidly developing and heavily funded advancements like cloud computing and virtual reality. The metaverse will soon begin to take these various cornerstones of the internet to the extreme. And this is where we begin to tie this one science fiction concept into the world of video games, and more specifically Fortnite. As many of you know, Fortnite is a massively popular online battle royale game. Since the game's launch back in 2017, it has grown exponentially in size and popularity. Fortnite has pushed every boundary of what a video game has traditionally been. They have innovated and changed the industry forever, with weekly updates that kept the game fresh, adding new items into the game store, and even featuring massive in-game events, not to mention the creative realm that they've established. Some of these events even merged the real world with the game. The Marshmello concert was the first live concert ever broadcast through a video game, and it managed to reach millions of people at once. Star Wars even launched a massive in-game event/ad campaign where they blew players away with an epic scripted show that culminated with a massive lightsaber battle, and a new update and some store items. And with the recent Travis Scott event blowing everyone away as well, we are starting to see the potential of what a metaverse can really be. It can turn a concept into an interactive and deeply complex and almost spiritual experience. Whether we realize that or not, Fortnite, in a way, has been developing its own metaverse this entire time, which, honestly, who is surprised by that? This developer has revolutionized the industry in so many ways already. I mean, think about it. They have their own currency, an in-game store, ad campaigns, concerts, emotes to interact emotionally. They also have features like creative modes where the community can build and develop their own edit and combat courses, as well as other fun minigames. And creators have also put on fashion shows, skill contests, and so much more. The game even has jobs, for God's sakes. Creators can get paid through the support a creator code when other players buy things through the shop. So when someone builds a sick edit or box fighting course, someone can pay them indirectly for that work that they have done. Not to mention the direct money everyone at Epic earns, as well as the content creators who stream and make videos about the game. Just like a metaverse, the platform blurs the lines between the digital and physical worlds. Fortnite, and it feels weird saying this, has to this day probably developed the most in-depth metaverse we know of so far, which apparently they've been planning for a while, because back in December of 2019, Epic Games founder Tim Sweeney said in a tweet, quote, "Fortnite is a game, but Ask me that question again in 12 months, end quote. And if you think about it, where else would the earliest versions of a metaverse come from? The gaming industry is set up perfectly to pioneer these technologies and ideas. The industry is constantly pushing the boundaries of technology through gaming engines, virtual reality development, and digital interactions. And gaming is constantly pushing to move forward and innovate to make the most interactive, engaging, and polished games. The industry is incredibly competitive, just not for the sale of products, but down to the workers who fill those positions. Only the best of the best make it through, meaning new ideas and tech have the best chance of thriving in this space. Not to mention that the infrastructure exists for a metaverse to be pushed out through PC and console, as anyone who plays video games has a very powerful machine in their house, capable of running a higher end product. This will be crucial for a concept like this, as it will be a very tough sell to ask people to spend $1,000+ on a computer just to join a rough draft version of a metaverse. And this leaves the field wide open for the gaming industry to lead the way. While the idea of a metaverse may have seemed a bit odd and extreme for the near future, recent events have really shown us how imminent something like this actually is. With the coronavirus pandemic hitting the entire world, people have flocked to online platforms. We use it to order food, to shop, and now to work, all from home and all online. Even things like weddings and graduations were held in the newly released Animal Crossing game. And platforms like this are helping those who are trapped at home experience the major life events that they are missing out on. And even musicians are holding live concerts over social media, while other artists are performing for the public in various other ways. The building blocks of the metaverse are quite literally developing before our eyes. Although some of these things tend to be silly memes on the internet, like that Imagine video those actors put out, they are happening, and people are bonding over these experiences, which may be paving the way for a future that is increasingly lived within these metaverses. And if someone were to pioneer a platform that allowed for these things to be accomplished, and in an efficient way, they would be on top of the world. The gaming industry knows this, and Epic Games damn well may lead the charge globally. They have already launched their own online gaming retailer that now competes directly with Steam, and I truly believe the metaverse will be their next massive move. And that move, in my opinion, is why Fortnite has really started to die off. Don't get me wrong, the game is still massively popular, but with things like #FixFortnite trending on Twitter, and the unprecedented heat the game has gotten recently, I think it's fair to say the game is declining, at least in the area of public favor. The main reason for this is the game has gone from weekly updates to being outright neglected by the team at Epic Games. They are failing to communicate with players and just seem disinterested with the game as a whole. Skill-based matchmaking is a mess, and the game as a whole is in a very weird space right now, and who knows if it's even possible to go back to old Fortnite. And maybe this crosses over into conspiracy theory territory, but I believe the lack of attention is because Epic Games is looking to the far future instead of attempting to fix their game. They're sacrificing the short-term health of Fortnite to continue building out towards a metaverse. Epic realizes the global impact a concept like this will have, knows that all games will eventually die. However, a new futuristic idea such as the metaverse will develop and evolve for decades and centuries to come. This idea is truly the future of human interaction over the internet. It's also a very scary and very real possibility that this will further isolate people from real in-person human interaction. But this is how capitalism and the human species works. We forever push forward, striving to make life easier, cheaper, and more efficient and effective. Whether most things in this realm are ultimately harmful are yet to be fully realized. Or maybe all of this is for the best. Maybe sacrificing one of the most popular games ever made is worth everything that comes with a metaverse. Or maybe a metaverse is just another step towards the world living in their heads and their beds. I know this wasn't a true gaming video, but some of my favorite videos to write and create are the ones that interweave outside topics into the world of gaming, so I hope you guys found this interesting and enjoyed the video. Anyway, that will do it for this video. Make sure you hit like, click or tap that subscribe button to become the heart of this gaming channel, and be a part of the conversation in the comments below by telling me how you feel about the metaverse. And for more gaming analysis, news, reviews, and opinions, stay here on Ash Heart. And as always, thanks for watching.